Anyways, without further ado, this is going to be the end of our Saladin lore for at least a little while. We're going to get back to the seasonal lore, I think, at the end of the month, because next week I want to read some of Glint's passages from this goofy book. I'm not going to read all 35 of them, because that would take literally half a year for me. That's a half a year's worth of shows.
Yeah.
But they are there for you to go read. If you don't actually feel like grinding it out, I can't blame you. I'm doing it for the cosmetic rewards. And because I just really like lore, I would encourage you to go read it on Ishtar Collective. It is really funny. It's really heartwarming. And I love that Glint is telling stories. And it's all canonical. Like, it fits in with the events of this season, which I like. But the first piece that we have is the class item from the Iron Banner set. It's the same across all three. So just class item. Some know the legend. We crush the warlords beneath our heels so that they may never rise again. Saladin remembers the first time he met Zavala. He remembers thinking that the Awoken had regal bearing like the stags he once hunted on the steppes. His shoulders were broad and his chin held high. When he moved, he did so with the strength and purposeful deliberation of someone with the power to determine his own place in the world. You'll never have a son, his ghost had said, but it isn't too late for you to take an apprentice. Saladin remembers their sparring matches. He remembers how Zavala always got back on his feet, no matter how many times Saladin put him down. He remembers refusing to offer the younger Lightbearer a hand up until the day Zavala finally bested him in combat. He remembers lying flat on his back, left shoulder dislocated and ribs shattered, a strange pressure on his chest that made it difficult to breathe. Finish it, Saladin had commanded, because that was the way of things. His ghost would revive him. Saying nothing, Zavala hauled him to his feet instead. Saladin remembers all this and more when his former apprentice calls him into his office and tells him about the face behind the crow's mask. Zavala says he knows that Saladin doesn't like secrets, that it's unfair to ask him to keep one of this magnitude, but there will come a time when the crow needs someone. The way Zavala needed Saladin. You never needed anyone, Saladin insists. Zavala only smiles. I really, really, really love this piece of lore. We've been on this journey with Saladin remembering his past. We talked last week and the week before kind of about, do we think that Saladin is possibly on the chopping block? And I think I wouldn't say that's an easy conclusion to come to, but I think that when you read a piece of lore like this, I think it makes it a little bit easier to support the notion that Saladin may be on his way out.
Don't say
that.
But
Listen, I've said it for a little while. I think it's that they've started including Saladin in the lore a lot, but that's usually never a good sign for said character in the lore. And we know that somebody is going to fall. I like that Saladin was in Season of the Chosen. I think that was good. And we now know, thanks to the seasonal lore that we've gotten, and we're going to go into more detail about this towards the end of the month, Crow is the other ambassador to Keitel now, alongside Saladin. Yep. Which I love that so much. I think it's great that these two guys that are polar opposites are being asked to work together. We see here Zavala basically tells him, I want you to make the Crow your apprentice. Crow needs somebody to guide him. And I wonder if Saladin comes between him and Savathun. With Savathun trying to manipulate him, I would really love if Saladin kicked off our story next season with the Witch Queen, if he kicked off our year-long story and he was kind of our seasonal guide for it. I think that's a unique opportunity that we haven't seized upon enough in this world. Him and Shax are largely bystanders to the events that go on. They are mentioned very little. They have legends in the lore, obviously. We read about Warlord Shax last year, and facing down Winter and facing down Ephrodite and the Iron Lords. And yet, outside of the Devil's Ruin mission, what have we, and the insinuation that he has fallen underneath Savathun's sway, what has Shax really done in the last couple of years?
Trained millions of Guardians. That's what.
Saladin has, for story purposes, he started to take a much bigger role. We saw him in Empty Vessel last year, or last season. We saw him in the Season of the Lore for Chosen, obviously, because he was one of the guides in it. And now we're seeing him in the entire Iron Banner set, as well as the weapons. And we're going to read the final passage here, because I think it's important for us to understand with Saladin, and if Saladin really is on his way out. And I think this kind of helps support that theory too. This is Forge's pledge. It's the pulse that John and I were talking about earlier. Say whatever you like, you just better be brave enough to say it to his face. And that's a quote from Lady Aphrodite. Iron Lord Saladin Forge is not a man to be fooled with. If you make a joke at his expense, you would best hope he laughs when he hears it, and he never laughs. Iron Lord Saladin Forge is not a man to be slighted. If you wound him, you best hope he forgets you, and he never forgets. Iron Lord Saladin Forge is not a man to be lied to. If you mislead him, you would best hope he never finds out, and he always finds out. And if for some unfathomable reason you decide to pose as his friend and advisor, sow rumors within his ranks, whisper lies in his ear, and lay the full force of your foul deceit upon him, you had best hope that your worm god, your sword logic, your tithes and tributes and reams of ageless bargains are enough to keep you safe, and you will never be safe from Iron Lord Saladin Forge.
Wonder who they're talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lord Saladin is on his way out. I regret to inform you. On Tower Casuals for the third week in a row. I need to see this as a cutscene this time. It is not enough to have him go out like Sagira. I need him to... I gave this power fantasy last week that when Saladin goes out, I need lightning to just start glowing around him like Thor. I need him to summon the shield, and I need him to summon a hammer. Like we get Osiris described to us as using all three elements against Xivu-Arath's forces. I need him to 1v1 with Savathun. What if, when he dies, his ghost is how she gets the light?
No, I feel like she already has a ghost. Like she has some sort of spell, something set up.
I'm sure she does too. I'm hypothesizing here. I need that to be an epic cutscene. I said this, like I would love to, when Savathun inevitably breaks out, the end of the season event is us evacuating the tower. Because she has shown up there. And I would love for the cutscene to cut to him, Shax, Zavala, and Saint 14 standing beside each other. And when they all try to do something, he steps forward with his hand out and is like, no, I've got this. And that's when he summons all of the elements and tries to attack her by himself. Like, listen, I need to see it, okay? I need to see Saladin 1v1 somebody. Like, who else could take on a god by themselves in the town? Like, Ikora, probably?
Yeah.
Like, what would demoralize the ranks of the Vanguard more than losing Saladin? You have a built-in person to come and run Iron Banner with Aphrodite. Rename Trials of Osiris the Trials of Lord Saladin. I mean, we've also shared our...
I don't want to see
Osiris is dead, so... Hit me. You didn't want to what?
I don't want to see Saladman go. I love his character. I love what they've been doing with him recently. Also, I don't know if you've noticed. I like what they've done recently. I didn't like him as a character until this year. I thought he was just an asshole, which he is. Like, that's very much his character. But outside of Rise of Iron, and now granted, he had a big part in Rise of Iron, of course, it's his expansion, but other than that, we never really got any sort of character development with him, whether it was in D1 or D2. I mean, look at how we've recounted it, how Crow calls him a coward in the Iron Banner Lord season for him not doing anything during the Red War. He questions him, like, basically, where the fuck were you? And it's true, like, I think we all kind of wondered it, like, Saladin's not here helping. Like, even Shax has a cameo, but, like, Amanda Holiday is out here with a gun helping, and Saladin can't be coming in with Big Hammer? Like, you got me. He lost his light. He had wolves to look after on the
Dude,
mountainside.
Sick the wolves on the Cabal! Listen, if Christmas Grandma can fight her way out of the city, Saladin can get into the city and help out too. And I mean, of course, we went over this last week. He did actually help evacuate a large number of people up to the mountains and then sealed the gates. I get that. I understand it. I respect it.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a fair question to ask, and it took us years to get that answer. These are characters I think Bungie is realizing they can't just have them be one-dimensional faces and voices anymore. And for better or worse, Saladin and Shaxx, and we've even said Zavala up until the last year, really have felt that way. Really, our tower people have, I mean, look at all the complaints. Ikora has done fuck all in like 2 years until recently. We got more characterization with Crow in 3 weeks than we did with Ikora in 2 years. And that's unacceptable for someone who's supposed to be one of the faces of your franchise.
Yeah.
It really does feel like to me that we are getting ready to start retiring some of these OG characters, and that those who live maybe accompany us on what's next after the light and dark. Like, it is clear we're going to lose many more allies in the next couple of expansions, but I think that kind of sets you up for, like, I don't know, new. Drifter, Saint, and whatever crippled husk of Osiris is left to maybe guide you to what's beyond the city. What's beyond the solar system? Maybe they're the ones who go, because they've been there. Like, Osiris and Drifter have been there before. They've gone and done that. Like, Mara has gone beyond. You take Crow along with you. I don't know. Or Crow stays behind to lead the city. Like, there's so many things you can do. And I think it's great that we can actually have these discussions about these characters now. Because for so long, it was just like, well, I mean, I guess you could bring Aphrodite back to do Iron Banner. Where's she been? She's been MIA for like 3 or 4 years now. Not even a whisper of her. Bring Aphrodite back. She's the only other Iron Lord. Well, besides us, but that happened, conveniently got forgotten.
Yeah, no, that won't be made official until they give us the goddamn title. Bungie, give me an Iron Banner title, please.
Give me the Iron Banner title. Give me Saladin's axe. Give me that hammer of proving.
Let you wear capes.
Let Titans wear capes. Let Hunters wear bath towels. Give me a butt flap, Bungie. I'm ready.